Hi, good morning or good evening, everyone. Yeah, welcome back to Linux administration sections. Yes, today we are going to talk it that one more important section that's about service management. Yeah, so in the last section, if you observe that, like we were understanding package installation, that means yes, if you'd like to install any packages of that like system related or like application related, that could be the web servers or the database servers or reporting servers or monitoring services. We can use it yum package management utility or rpm utility or ubuntu specification like apt or dpkg. Yeah, so these utilities are helping to add libraries and binaries to the system. So let's take that a web server is required. A web server, how do we install it is? That is, we can use it yum install httpd. Yeah, that is helping to install the package. Fine. But installing the package is not enough. But we need to manage that service also, right? HTTP is a service, that is server. The server, like in our the OS point of view, we can call it like as a service. Yes, which is running as a process to take the request and to give the response back to the client. Yeah, how to manage the services? Yeah, how do we install the packages? That is one thing. But once package has been installed, that package, if it is required to run as a service or as a daemon process, then how do we manage those services? Yes, what is the option? That's why how this is. So that's we can use it. One of the utility, that is systemctl, is a utility. So this is helping about it all the daemon process which are running on the system. Yeah, that is about like system daemon process. That is a collection of all the services which are running on the system. To manage it, yes, one more utility. What is that which we should know is that is systemctl is a utility that is going to helpful to control all the system related services. Yeah, you are starting that OS is nothing but OS. The main service is starting, and that service it is going to launch all the sub services, child services. Suppose network is working on a whatever in our system is nothing but, yeah, network is a service backend it is running, and that is helping to handle to receive the data, to send the data. Like that volumes or the data you are able to write it within the system is nothing but that volumes related some services are running background. Like security point of view, the security related firewalls, or like you are connecting to the system or you are logging off that users to the system. Yeah, the backend some services, as we were mentioning cron tab as a scheduler point of view. Yes, that is also one of the service which is running. But how do you know all these services which are running? And if it is required, how to start it or stop it? So that is not only these system related services. If you just talk at application related, application databases, application middleware servers, application web servers, the monitoring of application resources, that is monitoring services. Yes, how to manage that the services is another important thing which we should know. So that is we are going to look into that here. So how do we use that system utility? That is systemctl is the main utility, whether you are working on yeah, the CentOS or Red Hat based systems, which we can use it. Yeah, so let's look into that. How do we use it? The systemctl utility. Yeah, to use this system utility, the first yeah, I'm going to use it that the CentOS system. Yes, I'm just logging to that. Yes, I'm logged in. We are login is nothing but there is SSH functionality is working, right? SSH, secure shell. Yeah, that is itself the background within the system. Yeah, that itself is one of the service which is running. Can we control that service? Yeah, starting of it, stopping of it, yes, we can do that. Yeah, if you remember that, how do you know the list of all the services which are running is? So we were observing that's like ps-ef command, right? And if you just see that result of it, yes, like here, so these are all the services which are running as a process. Here you see this one of the main process which is running on the system, which is having the parent, the process ID, that is one. And what about this process system D? Yeah, the system D is the main, the manager, process manager, which is going to manage it all. This, you see that's like a parent process ID 111. If you see that, these are all the child process which are getting managed by through system D process. Yeah, the cron jobs are working or SH services are working. See, if you see that SH here, and that is having like some process ID, but these process IDs, if you refer somewhere, it is also, it has been started with the system D process. Yeah, the system D is a main process. Like, that's, we can see the group of process, the parent process with the child process. But all these process, how to manage that is by using systemctl is the utility which we can use it to manage the services which are running on the system. And one more point, whenever we talk it that all these services, don't think that only the services, yes, we have like, I don't think that only services, yes, we have sockets. Sockets also like as the process which are running background. And the devices are mount points. Yeah, these are all also as a services which are running, which we can manage it. Anyway, we'll see those points. Yeah, so if you just understand, yeah, the system D is a main process, and we are running any services, we are starting servers or stopping servers, all they're all getting managed by system D, that is daemon process. But what is the utility that is available to manage all these processes? That is system CTL, and that is available or not, and which version it is available on the system, you can check it. That is by using systemctl -- version. Yes, now we have the systems, the D, this is the daemon process manager of that, and which is on the version that is 219. Yeah, that is checking that the systemctl, and where it has been installed, if you would like to check it, the where is systemctl, the where, yeah, the where is systemctl, yes, that is actually, this is utility which has been installed, and that is located in a user bin systemctl. It is like as ls command, how we are running that. Systemctl also is one of the utility which we got it at system level, that is yes, whenever we install the OS, and it is helping to manage that services. This we can call it as service manager. Yes, where is this system D or systemctl, we can verify that, and it is running it or not. Yes, just we are observing that ps-ef, and first the parent process ID 1 which we have, that is a system D process. And yes, like, but what are the activities we can do with the system, the CTL utility or system D? Even that, one more also, if you just observe that, where is system D? Yeah, so this is also utility. Yeah, this utility to manage that top level, which are the system CTL. Yeah, so what we can do that with this system CTL or system D, that is all the daemon process of the system is. So we can analyze that the services which are starting, that is networking services, or mount points related services, firewalls related services, about our custom services, that is application related, web servers or database servers, all these services which we can manage that. One of the management activities is, yes, if you'd like to know that the time taken, by each process during boot up time. So sometimes like the issues what you'll be having is during the system launch it takes more time. But which services are consuming that more time? If you'd like to analyze it, the time of the services, the background services which are running, if you'd like to know that, which we can use it, system the analyze. The system analyze is that like a option which you can use it, and we can run that blame. So this is going to helpful that as you see this list of all the services which are running, that is networking services, audit services, and swap services, and network manager services, a switch service, and what is the time it has been taken during the boot up time, boot up services. Yeah, so these are all the services. So what is the time it has been taken, the time analyzation point of view which we can use it, this command. So that is systemd analyze blame. Yeah, if you'd like to know that the particular service point of view also, you can just use that grab. Suppose HTTPD service you are having that, but I hope so we didn't have that service, we didn't start it. Let me install one package for this. Sudo, we need to install the packages, right? Sudo m install HTTPD. I'm just installing this package. Like this is the web server. HTTPD is the web server. We have the separate section. I'll come back on HTTPD service, but just to give some demonstration on this service management, I'm going to use it this HTTPD web server. Yeah, the first command we are understanding. Yes, that is systemctl. What is the version? And then analyzing about it all the services related to the boot up time process. That is by using systemd analyze and with the blame, and you can look into about that the service which is running also. But HTTPD service is yes, we have installed, but that is not up and running. That's why it is not enabled. So that's why you don't see here as a service. But we'll come back how to start it, stop it, and how to enable these services, which will come back. We'll come back to that. Okay. Yeah, before going to work with that more on these services, one point which we need to understand that is, so let me show this. This is a document I'm going to share it. This document point of view, if you understand that some points here, important point is in the on the system level services point of view, we have the services, that is HTTP services, database services, monitoring services, but not only these services to manage it with the systemctl or systemd, but we have the mount points like as a devices which have been attached to the system. There are all the storages, that is also we can manage it, these mount points. And we have the sockets. Yes, like if you go to that runtime environment, yes, we have the sockets which are running that to take the request and to have that transmission or receiving the data point of view sockets are working. The sockets also we can identify and we can manage that with the systemctl. And finally, we have like devices also, the devices which have been attached or detached, that is external devices. Those devices also we can manage it with this systemctl. Yeah, this systemctl is helping about it. Don't think that's not only for the services, it is helping for about our devices, about our the mount points point of view, sockets point of view. So all these units we can manage. They're all we can call it as units. Yeah, these are all like as a units. But what are the main units are available on the system which are running is services as a unit, mount point itself as an unit, sockets is another units, and devices. But how do you see this list of all these available units and all that? Yes, if you go for some more commands on this, let me show that's the commands now. Yeah, list of all this the units. How do you see this is systemctl? Yeah, this is the main command we are going to work with that. List unit files. So that is going to helpful that list unit files. This is going to helpful to get it all units. Like what are the types of units we are saying? Types of units: services, sockets, mount points, devices. So there are the 4 types. Yes, all these that we can manage it. And list unit files, it is going to helpful that to view all the units. Yeah, now these are all the unit files. You have the see that some of them which are having the extension with the service, and some of them which are having this with the mounts. Mount points itself as like as a the services which we can manage it. And you see this if you go for some more options, devices. Yeah, the most of this which are the service, and here you see there's some sockets. Yeah, the system log related sockets and the system daemon process related, shutdown related sockets, and yeah, DBS or yeah, the SSHD itself also socket. Yeah, the sockets we have, the targets we have, and you can find it somewhere if you go for this. Yes, the timers we have. Yeah, so these are all like I mean, which we can say that the background which are running to manage it about our complete system. Yeah, the services about custom services, and as well as I mean devices point of view, that yes, like storages point of view, the mount points and devices are available, sockets which are running to have the communication with the systems, and the timers, targets. Yeah, these are all the total units which are available. But how do you know that all the units is? Yeah, list unit files. But if you'd like to know that the particular units are running units or failed units, so how do you know that? By using this systemctl. Yeah, the systemctl is helping about it. If you see this, only the running units, if you'd like to see that. So we have so many units, but all the units are not up and running, and some have been disabled, some have been yes, like are not ready. So but you should like to, if you'd like to know about it, list of all the units which are running on the system. Yes, list units, use that always less, that's a helpful. Yes, so list units. So this is going to, I mean, this is going to helpful only running units in the sense either sockets or services or devices or mount points. Yes, you can see this list of all yeah, you see this here, the status of it. These are all showing this loaded, active and running. Yes, in the current system, the list of all the units. I mean, on the Unix, one more beauty what we have is whether that is socket or whether that is device or whether that is mount point, whether that is service. These are all like as a files, right? Yeah, these are all we can call it as in our system point of view, unit files. List of all unit files are only list units that is going to helpful to see the files which are up and running. Yeah, so you see this now 90 loaded units listed. Total how many units are loaded on this current system is the total 90 which have been loaded. But what is the command that is helping about it? List units. This is helping about it to see that only running units. But all the units, if you'd like to see, list unit files. And some cases, some points what we need to do this is on the system level whenever you are working, you should see that the only failed units, like which are all the sockets failed or which are all the mount points failed. If you'd like to know that, how do you know that? How do you know that list of all the failed the failed units? Yeah, the systemctl -failed. This is going to helpful, which is listing the failed units. Now you see this here. One unit which is showing this as a failed, that is a C Linux related policy migrate local changes, and it is kind of the service. Loading has got failed. Yeah, the one loaded units listed which is showing as a failed one. Yeah, the failed one, and the total running, I mean only running units, and unit list like that's a list unit all the files, that is going to helpful that all the files to list it, and only list units, or hyphen filed, hyphen failed, only failed. Yeah, so these are all the different options with the systemctl to know that overall units. But if you go for more in the sense like more into the deeply, like as we are seeing that units, what are the different types of units? Sockets, services, mount points, and devices. Yes, if you'd like to go to the specific to that services or specific to that mount points, then how do you work with that? Yeah, so far, if you just observe that history, let me just conclude it. The commands here, what we are using is, yes, first we are verifying about it, what is the version of the systemctl which is installed on the system, and systemd is the main parent process ID, and where this systemctl or systemd have been installed, and to know about it, list of all the units and units related the boot up time, that is loading time during the system startup time, that's to analyze it, and then to view that all the unit files, list unit files are only running units, that is a sockets point of view, services point of view, mount points point of view, and failed, do you have this any failed units to check it? Yes, these are all some options which we added so far. The next, what do we do this is we go for this understanding, how do we manage the first services? A service one kind of unit, right? But how do I see that the only the units which belong to services? So the systemctl obviously is there is command and list unit files. So this is helping all types of the units of the services which is listing that, but we are looking that especially the type which belong to that service related. So how do you see that all the units which are belong to the services related? If we just go for that less option, let me, yes, now these are all the units. Now it is listing that all the unit files which are belong to that services related, whether it is enabled or disabled. Disabled is nothing but that is not activated, and enable is that is available. Yes, audit is enabled, and now you see this like auto-vt is another service which is available, and yeah, cron service that is enabled, and debug they are not enabled. Anyway, cron d, yes, cron service has been enabled. Yeah, the list of all the services which are enabled, if you'd like to see that, yes, here you can use it, that option. You see this nfs related some services, yes, some have been showing the static, and some have been enabled. Yes, so total 157 unit files it is listed, whether it is enabled or disabled. But if you'd like to see that the only enabled one is list units and type services. Now these are all helping about it only up and running services on the system, the unit type services which are up and running. Yeah, these are all like, if you go for this overall together, how many we have this is, yes, around 33 services are up and running on the system services point of view. Yeah, so this is a command which is going to helpful. What is that command? Systemctl list units or list unit files enable or disable altogether, but list units, and you can find it type of that as a service. Now that like HTTPD is one service, right? The HTTPD we were installing the package. Do you remember that? HTTPD, that is a web server, about custom service which I have installed. So how do I manage that service? How do I start it? How do I stop it? Or how do I enable it? How do I reboot that server? So we call it normally HTTPD as a web server, but in our system wise, we call it as a service. Yeah, so if you'd like to know that, that's The service information, the list of all the configuration properties. Yes, what is that option we have is systemctl show and service name HTTPD. We give that. Yes, now these are all like configuration properties, and which are like restart has been enabled or not. And you can see this memory limits, CPU limits. Yeah, the limiting that. Yes, how many number of files at the same time it can be used, and how many core process it's core units it can be used. The CPU point of view, what is the new mask it is having, and memory limit, how much it has been configured for that. Yeah, so that is a properties of the service, that means configuration of the service. If you would like to know that information, then we have the systemctl show and the service name. And one more point, sometimes, yes, if you have the service related completed dependencies, which we should know that. Dependencies. Yes, if you like to run that service, you have other dependencies, like yesterday, which you are understanding in the last section. If you like to install one package related dependencies are also important. Like that, dependencies, if you like to know that of that particular service or the mount or whatever it is, the unit. So dependencies is that option, systemctl list dependencies, and if you pass that unit name and unit here, which type of unit we are passing, HTTPD. If you just run that, now you see this HTTPD service to run it is like a mount is required as the storage point of view, and a system slice and basic target services, and some sockets are going to help with that, and unity services are helping that, which are belong to the RHL. Yeah, so these are all dependable services. Yes, how do you know that all the dependable of that the services is, that is a systemctl list dependencies. Now let's see this. Yes, now we got it. How do we view that the configuration properties, that is systemctl show unit name and dependencies, if you'd like to know that, list dependencies and service name. Now let's go for how to start it and stop the HTTPD service. HTTPD, that is web server, we are saying this, right? But that my web server is running or not. First of all, how I can check it on this my system? My web server is running or not? How do we check it? Yeah, the systemctl start, not start, status we are asking this, right? Status, whether that is running or not. The status and give the service name. Yes, now what is the service, what is the status it is showing that for this HTTPD is inactive. It is dead. That means that service is not up and running. Okay, my HTTPD service on the system that is not running. But how we can start it? Yeah, sudo unit use it. Yeah, starting point of view systemctl start. Yeah, any unit, not only this unit. Like if you are working with mount point type of units, sockets you are going to work with that, services you are going to work with that, devices you are going to work with that with the systemctl. Status to check it, status command. Information to know that, show command, systemctl show and unit, systemctl and start and unit, that is helps to start it, but it is not giving any information. But if you would like to see the status again, yes, let's go for that. Systemctl status and service name. Yes, now it is helping. Yes, that is my web server on the system, it is up and running. Now how do you know that? Active, and it is running. But I will give the some separate section. We have this the web server configuration, web server management. We have the separate section which will come back later. But here we are understanding systemctl with option. So systemctl is helping about it multiple units to manage it. And how do you do that? Starting of that unit, that is systemctl start unit name. Systemctl status, how do you know that? Systemctl status and unit name. And you can restart it. How do you restart it is systemctl restart and unit name, that is HTTPD. But you need to have the sudo permissions. Let me turn with the sudo. Yeah, so my HTTP service has been restarted. And how do I stop it? Yeah, systemctl stop. And now if I check it, the status of this, status of HTTP, now it is inactive. Inactive is, that is down. Yeah, the restart, reload. That means the complete, you have done some configuration, and configuration, if it is required to reload it to that. So we have this, how we have the restart. Reload is one more option. The complete configuration, if you like to reload after the system. Yeah, so that's which we can apply that, the reload on that service. So that is, let me start that. Yes, now reload it. Yeah, so there are some important operations you can apply on any unit. What are those? Getting that information. So that's here if you observe the some points. Yes, systemctl show and unit name. This is helping to get that all the configuration information. And if you like to know the dependencies of that unit, yes, systemctl list dependencies and unit name. Unit here, that could be HTTP, that could be MySQL database, or that could be mount point, or that could be a device or socket or whatever it is. Yeah, but systemctl is helping different units, types of units. But here especially we are talking that the type of units that is service oriented. And systemctl status, you can check it of that unit. And you can start the service, you can restart the service, you can stop the service, and you can reload the complete configuration information of that service. But has it been enabled or not? Enabled in the sense, that means whenever I start the system, automatically it has to be rebooted. I don't want to go back manually rebooting the system. I don't want to do that. But how do you do that? It's like enabling that the service, so to restart it automatically whenever the system is up. So for that point of view, we have this the one more command. First, how do we check it? Is it active or not? Is enabled. And if you give the service name, that is HTTP or any unit, so is it enabled now at the system boot up time? No, it is not enabled. But I would like to enable it. How do I enable it? Yes, systemctl enabled. Use the sudo. Yeah, systemctl enabled HTTPD. Not enabled. Enable. Yes, now the service has been enabled. How I can check it? Is it enabled or not? Is enabled. Yes, now my HTTPD service has been enabled. That means if I restart the system, automatically my HTTPD service will be rebooted. You don't need to manually go and start the service. And if you like to disable that, how to disable this is, we have like systemctl disable option. Yeah, that is disabled. And now if you check it, is enabled. No, it is not enabled. That is disabled. Yeah, so these are all some important operations that we have that. The main understanding of in the service point of view, show the list of dependencies, then start, stop, restart, reload, status, is enabled, enable, disable. These things you can apply on any unit. And one more point, what you have this is, like we have one more option. Suppose this HTTP service on the system, we don't want to run that in any context. So we would like to mark this one as impossible to start it. That means anyone tried to start it also, you should not start it. Can we disable like that? If you have the service should be disabled entirely. I mean, disable in the sense I'm not talking about it boot up time disable or enable. So now if I do that sudo systemctl start httpd, yes, that has been started. And if you verify the status, yes, that is active and up and running. Fine, good. But the point what we have is, anyone tried to start it on this system, the HTTPD service should not be allowed to start it. So how do you do that is, so we have that option system with the systemctl mask option, mask or unmask. Mask, and if you give that service name HTTPD systemctl. Now this is a created symbolic link for the service as a device null. That means it is not at all going to running that. Suppose now if I try to start it using start HTTPD, what it is saying that failed to start HTTPD service, unit is masked. That means you cannot make it active of the service until you need to unmask it. How do I unmask this? Yeah, systemctl unmask HTTPD. After unmasking, if you try to start it, systemctl start HTTPD. Yes, now it has been started. And now if you check the status of this, yes, that is active. Yeah, like mask, unmask, start, stop, restart, reload, status, enable, disable, is enabled, show the information of the service, list dependencies of the service. Yeah, these are all some important points you can apply on any unit. But here we are talking that especially service point of view. You can apply for the mount points. You can apply for that sockets, or you can apply for the services. So what are the operations? Yeah, so let me show this documentation. So one time, that's you can easily remember that. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, now you see this here. Yeah, the list unit files, list units, and all failed units. That is systemctl failed. And yeah, you can get it is enable that service or not. Here's the cron d service is available or not, and you can check the status of the services. And now we are understanding only the units which belong to the service we are listing, and you can see that the information of the service, and you can see the list dependencies of the service, and you can start the service, restart the service, or stop it, or reload it, or statuses. You can get it, or you can check it, is it active the service or not. This is for the boot up time. During boot up, is it enabled or not, is it disabled? Yes, we can enable or we can disable. And is it active or not, we can check it. And you can mask it or you can unmask this one. That is, do you need that service on the system or not? If it is installed also, you can control that. You should not start it, or it can be started like that. And we have one more, yes, which we didn't discuss. You can kill that. Normally, kill -9 process you are talking this, right? Yes, we can use it as systemctl kill and service name. The service related all the process that will be killed. Let me show that this is also. Yes, now if we just observe that HTTPD service is up and running, right? How do you know that? The systemctl status HTTPD. Yes, my HTTPD service is up and running. If I verify ps-ef grep HTTPD process, you see that these many processes are running that background. Now if I would like to kill this process, I need to kill this process ID, then this process ID, this process ID, this process ID, all the process I need to kill it. Almost 5, not only 5, 6 process it is created. We need to kill all these process, kill -9 and pass in this all the process IDs. But instead of doing that, systemctl use that sudo kill and service name. If you give that HTTPD, and if you check it, the ps-grep HTTPD, now it has been killed all the parent process and with the child process. That is a beauty. Or otherwise, if you go for this one by one killing that by using the process ID, it is very difficult. Yeah, the systemctl is helping to kill the process as well as. Now you can check it once again, the status systemctl status of this HTTPD. Now that it has been failed, that is not active. Yeah, so there are operations that we can use it with this systemctl. That's a very powerful command to manage that. Like this mount points also you can find it, and let me run this mount point option also. Hyphen mount point. Now the type. Now so far which we are understanding services, but another one which we are trying to understand is mount point. How do you see that list of all the mount points? Systemctl list units, but which units we are looking at? Type is equal to mount. Yeah, so now these are all like mount points which are up and running, which are available. 7 loaded units listed, but altogether if I would like to know, list unit -files. So that is going to helpful. All enable or disable, everything it is showing that, but specific to that active mount points on the current system. Now do you remember that before df-h command also which are observing that? Yeah, these are all the mount points, some mount points temporarily created, and this is the one from the device, main device, which has been created. We are understanding. Now you see this here in this the systemctl list units and -mount. This command, yes, now this command whatever we are talking that, so it is showing about it. Yes, this is one mount and this is another mount, this is another one, this is the one. So there are different mounts are available, and which are like a description. If you observe that this is the root one, this is something huge page file system, so which belong to that, and this is something runtime related and POSIX related and configuration file system debug. And if you just go back and if you observe that the same option, yeah, so here you see that's device related. Somewhere you can see this like yeah, there are device related some mount points which are there, and the device sham shm. Yes, there's two options which are available. The devices related use file system and one thing, and the run also you can see that, yeah, the run related one mount point which is created, and sys related cg group and the root mount point file system. That means whatever the dff-h command which is showing, directly you can get it by using systemctl list units which are belong to the type equal to mount. This command is helping list of all the mount points. There are loaded, active and mounted under the description of these mount points. And here you see this like some more which are this is temporary one which is not mounted. Total which we have this 10 units, but out of that 7 only which have been enabled. Now you need that temporary one also. By default, temporary one is not available, right? But there's like most of the projects which we see the temporary mount point also as temporary files to manage it. But how do we enable this temporary mount point? Can I enable this temporary mount point? Yes. Now if you see that list of all unit files, yes, which will have the temporary mount also. But by default, it is disabled. Now you need to enable it. How do you enable this? Yeah, that is systemctl, and we shall have the start and give that is temporary dot mount. Yeah, we need to have this the root permissions for this. Let me run with the sudo. Yeah, that has been started. Now if you verify listing all these units, before it was 7, right? Now you see that list, yes, 8 we got it, and within that 8 you see this one more thing, a temporary mount also. It is loaded, active and mounted and to the temporary directory. Yes, you can, we have started the temporary mount point which was not there, and that like that any mount point, if you would like to start it or stop it, yes, the systemctl, you can use it start or stop options, and then you can apply that that unit name, that's mount point. And now suppose df-h if I go for, now you see this is the mount point which has been available, right, which has been started. Before we didn't see this one. Let me show once again here. Before, in the before command, do you see that command output? Now it is gone. Actually it is not showing from the cache. Now you see this temporary also has been enabled. Now if I would like to stop it, yeah, systemctl, and you can check the status. Yes, let me show the status. Status is this is temporary mount point active and it is mounted. And if you don't need that, simply you can stop it. And now if you check it, status of it, that is inactive. This temporary, now it is inactive. Or you can reload it, you can check the status, or is enabled. That means during the boot up also this mount point is automatically required to start it. Then you can enable, disable. Yes, all those commands, it has been given in the documentation, which you can try with that. Next, the same thing. Yes, like type mounts. Yes, mount starting, stopping, restarting, or reloading status. Yes, run that all the commands and check it. And is active or not. Yes, check it with that and enable that during boot up time if it is required. And even this one, do you don't want to start it or stop it, yes, you can mark it mask or unmask options also. Yeah, units are the different, but systemctl commands are the same. Start, stop, restart, reload status, is active, enable, disable, mask or unmask, and list unit files or list units. But the type is going to change it that. We can apply this on services. We can apply that on the mounts. This is mount points. And next, which you have the sockets also. Yeah, you can just work with that sockets also, hyphen type socket, and you can find that list of all the sockets, all and enabled only if you like to see that list units. Then any particular socket, if you like to start it or stop it or restart it or reloading that or enabling that during the boot up times point of view, yes, you can apply that. Or if you would like to disable, you can mask it or unmask it that. Yeah, so that's about the different units wise we can work it on the systemctl, the very beautiful and important the service management activities point of view. And finally, so we can do that with the systemctl. You can reboot the system, or you can halt it, or you can suspend the systems, or you can make it the system into the hibernate. Yeah, these are all additional operations also which you can perform using systemctl. So this is the main process. System D is a main process, that is entire system to boot up and all the process to start it. System D is helping. The system D, that is daemon all the process which belong to the mount related mount point, services, sockets, devices, everything we can manage it through this systemctl utility. Yeah, so that is a point which we have. This is a powerful utility on the Red Hat and CentOS. Even that Ubuntu also, which we can use it. This systemctl utility. You can try this on the Ubuntu. And we have like a service also, one more utility on the basis of the versions which we have, Red Hat. I mean the CentOS older version. If you go for that, service was a utility, but now as the latest versions, systemctl is the utility which is helping. Yeah, so try to practice it and go ahead with this Word document and check with that mounts, check with that services, check with that sockets. Yeah, and try to understand there are important some operations on the systemctl. Now that's all from this section. Thank you.